involved in that struggle with McClain. Let's go ahead and go back to that press conference right now as the family speaks.
Elijah McClain across the street from where we currently stand. What we are seeing today is the same thing that the Aurora Police Department has continually done. It is a Friday release. They give Ms. McClain less than an hour, 2 or 3, to be able to even ingest the atrocities. This is a secondary form of attack on our community. We are here today because they are attempting to silence our community. Our community is not going to be silenced. We will not be silenced. We stand for Shanine McClain in solidarity. We are here to protect the interests of this family and our community. Our safety is at risk every single day. The tactics that are being used are white supremacist tactics. Let us not be fooled. Aurora does not approve. We have said over and over and over, this is not what we believe. This is not the culture, the character, nor the moral of the Aurora citizens. Right. They are murdering us. They are hiding it with a DA that continues to sweep murder after murder, after rape, after murder under the rug, because he, in fact, is a murderer himself. Today, we have watched the orchestration of the worst atrocity in our city continuing to be replayed. It is now being videotaped. It is being put all over the universe to see. And yet they hide their hands. And yet they make excuses. There is not an excuse. There will be no more excuses. Time is up, APD. Time is up. We have had enough. There will be no more. If you refuse to do your job that you still contractually have to do in the city of Aurora, we're taking your money. We are defunding you. We do not need you. We do not. We do not need murderers calling themselves protectors, because you are not, in fact, who you plague yourselves to be. That's right. We're going to hear from just a few people today. We're going to help you to understand some of the things that have happened in real time, so that the narrative that's being pushed out into the universe is actually the correct narrative, so that you understand the white supremacy that is happening in the city of Aurora. On today's show, we are going to expose every corner of the shadow, of the darkness, of the white supremacy that you are inflicting on our community, and we are standing. There is no more. Elijah McClain will have justice. If got Rosenblatt fired, I want life in prison. I want life in prison for every one of them. And that has been our promise to Shanine McClain. We want life in prison. They murdered and tortured him. And we will not stop until that happens.
My name's Mari Newman. I'm proud to represent the McClain family. I want to talk a little bit about white supremacy. A lot of you might be very familiar with the Jim Crow South, where white supremacists thought that it was amusing to take pictures of themselves next to the bodies of lynched human beings, of brutal lynchings, and that is exactly what we have seen now today. What we have seen is pictures of Aurora police officers taking pictures just like racists in the Jim Crow South of atrocities, and that is not acceptable. It's not acceptable then, and it's not acceptable now. I was glad to see that those officers who took those photographs were fired, but they should have been fired long ago. Right. 2 of those 3 officers, you may know, were actually present while Elijah McClain was being murdered. 2 of those officers stood idly by as their colleagues tackled Elijah McClain as they tortured him, inflicting multiple different kinds of force over the course of 15 minutes. And I'm not just talking about the carotid chokeholds, although there were 2 of those, but multiple kinds of force that killed a small young man who was entirely peaceful, who had done nothing wrong, who was trying to get home with a bottle of iced tea from the station down the street. And these officers, who today we learned posted amusing photographs because they thought it was just so darn funny to reenact the murder of a peaceful young man, have finally been fired. Now, they should be fired, of course, but all of the officers who are involved should be fired, and they should be fired and not able to be hired in any other department where they will continue to kill. The Aurora Police Department has a long, sordid, horrible history of both racism and brutality. That needs to stop today. And I hope that this is a sign that we will take no more. But I'll tell you what I'm worried about. I was just informed that the Aurora Police Association decided that because the acting chief decided to actually fire somebody for a change, now they don't support her as the acting chief. Now, I don't know whether she'd be the best chief or not, but I do know this. When the Aurora Police Association withdraws its support of somebody because they finally stand up and fire officers who are brutal, who are racist, and who are reenacting that racism, we know that we've got a police department and a police association that is rotten to the core. Now, my expectation is we're going to have to go ahead and file that civil rights lawsuit because I'm told that although there are all kinds of independent investigations going on, I've been around too long to trust our government to protect us. That's right. I know that the way that people are able to attain some modicum of justice is through the federal civil rights system, and that's exactly what we intend to do. Now, I think that Aurora should stand up, should take accountability, should do what's right for a change. It's not fair to drag a family through a years-long and emotionally damaging process. That's not right, and Aurora should stand up. But if they don't do it, we're here. We're not going away. I'm with this family for the long haul, and I'm proud to be here. People from the community who live here in Aurora want to tell you how they feel about the fact that they're being policed by this brutal racist department. I'm going to step back and let them do that.
I came here to specifically talk about trauma. Every time this happens, we re-traumatize our whole community. From the marches on Saturday to having to be here in front of camera crews in the spot where her son's life was taken. This is traumatic for her. And then I see these skies open up like they're going to pour in rain on us. I think that's probably Elijah's soul letting us know what's going on. You know, during her press conference, she said that the officers took pictures in order to cheer up their friends. And I want to say, how dare you? How dare you? She said it. It's white supremacy. To cheer up your friend after he's taken a life, you probably don't need to be cheered up after that. You don't need to be amongst people after that. You need to be in a jail cell for life like Ms. Shanine has requested. So we're going to fight, and we're going to come at all angles. We're going to come from community. We're going to come from oversight committees. We're going to come every blow, every which way we can until we get justice. And justice might look a lot for different people, but together we stand for justice as a whole. We're united for justice as a whole. And we will get justice from the city of Aurora as a whole.
It's a shame that you need to be out here today. But thank you for being out here. And we have just a moment to recognize the ground we're on. The ground we're on, meaning intentionally, like the ground that belongs to the spirits and the souls of the people who are indigenous and Arapaho, their land. But also that those of you in the back, you're standing where they killed a black boy, okay? We see you up in your windows. We see you up in your windows, and we hope you never have to look down and see another murder. Right, this isn't about me, and yet it is, right? because I've got a 23-year-old son, so this is very personal to me. But it should be personal to you, too. You've heard our colleagues and our friends talk about what justice looks like. We've heard the name, I lost you. We've heard the name of the McClain family lifted up. I want to be intentional in naming that this baby was a Mosley, too. I know his family runs deep in this community, and I know some of y'all are here, too. Take a moment and send your love and your warmth to the McClains and the Mosleys and to the people who've lost their baby. Sit with whatever God you believe in and pray that we don't have to know your baby's name. When we talk about what justice
all right,
looks like,
this is Jeremy Hohola with 9 News. We're going to go ahead and break away from this press conference now. That is the family of Elijah McClain reacting to the photos that were released by the Aurora Police Department today, depicting 3 officers in those photos mocking the death of Elijah McClain.
Tomorrow we come out, and if she tells us that she wants these killers in a cage, then that's what you lobby for, okay? But it's so important that as we lobby for justice for her baby, for the Mosley's baby, for the McClain's baby, for Elijah McClain, say his name, y'all. Say his name. Elijah McClain. Just saw a journalist say it. You snuck. You didn't mean to, but I saw it. That baby, that name as we lift it up, think really and be intentional in thinking about what justice for him looks like. We need to recognize those pictures were taken in October. It's not about a couple bad apples, y'all, right? Because bad apples come from rotten trees. We didn't need all of those cops to be good cops. We needed one of them to be a good cop. We didn't need all of them to do the right thing. We needed one of them to do the right thing in August or October or March. The idea that one resigned because he got caught in a photo, that's somehow shameful in a next level sort of way. They stood by and they let this happen. And all of that goes, when I say be intentional about what justice looks like, you cannot reform your way out of this, okay? We cannot reform our way out of this. People who tell you they want criminal justice reform in this system right now, they want kinder, gentler policing. No, we want no policing, okay? There is no such thing as a good cop if this can happen on this ground again and again. I keep seeing your sign, and it hurts. Before I pass this to my brother T-Rob, I want to implore you, invite you to consider, when we're thinking about what justice looks like, it means changing laws. It means passing bills that outlaw things like chokeholds and shooting folks in the back. But it means dismantling all of their shit. All of it has to go. All of it has to go. Okay? That means you defund. That means you turn out. That means we take back our streets. We're going to do it tonight. We take back our seats. I see elected officials out here who aren't going to speak up because they know that this is the time for them to be here and listen. We love you and we thank you and we see you. We see you. But the city council needs to look like us, right? We don't need more black cops, but we do need more black elected officials. And we need black elected officials who represent our best interest. Because all my skin folk ain't my kinfolk, okay? So be very clear about this. As we lobby for justice and we overturn these racist laws and we take people out of positions of power, if what it takes for that woman to do the right thing is to see this man Rosenblatt chuckling over killing a baby, then she doesn't deserve that job either, right? Me and the police union, we don't have nothing in common. But one thing we have in common is she's not the woman for that job, okay? So just be intentional and claim it. You feel me? It just is hurtful. I want to also remind you that we're going to be back here tonight, and I hope you'll talk about that a bit, because please understand, right? I would never, ever, ever suggest that you do anything that's contrary to the law because you shouldn't. Because unlike the cops, we follow rules, we follow laws, we try to do things within the system, but when the system isn't working, then the system needs to be torn the fuck apart, okay? Because none of this got changed because we asked politely. None of these rules got revisited. Y'all think your governor reopened an investigation because we signed a petition? Because that's not it. The petition is part of it. The petition is part of it, but it's just the tip. Thank you for being here. Say his name, y'all. Say his name. Say his name.
I like the community to give another hand to these black women, these warrior black women who led this whole initiative. All right. These women, my name is Terrence Roberts. These women have been on the front line of this initiative since an hour after he was murdered, okay? Since after he died. Now we've all grown to understand what happened to Elijah McClain. APD, time is up, all right? We're here. We're going to command the space. It has been 10 months and 9 days since Elijah McClain was murdered, 30 yards from here, standing right across the street over there, okay? Colorado has had over 300 police shootings, with over 200 of them fatal since 2014. Only two of them have been deemed, only two of them have been deemed unconstitutional, whatever the word is, unlawful, excuse me. Only two out of 200 people murdered. 200, you guys. Only two of them have been deemed unlawful, okay? Colorado is 5th in the nation per capita for police homicides, with only 2 of them being deemed unlawful. This is a pandemic in itself, okay? This is a COVID. I wonder how many of those 200 people were people of color, people who were homeless. I wonder how many of them were around the Colfax area where our unhoused neighbors live. The time is right now. We're going to take up space. We're going to agitate. We are going to be on the front lines until we get these officers not only fired. Rosenblatt got fired not for killing Elijah, not for murdering Elijah, but for making fun of Elijah. That is the culture that we're fighting, where a police officer can murder a black man, a black child, and keep his job and stay on the force so he can go make fun of this child. Then he gets fired 10 months and 9 days after he murdered someone. He didn't even last a year after killing a youth before he was fired. We are fighting a mentality. We are fighting a culture of rape, of murder, of aggression, of patriarchy. We're going to stand in this place, and we're going to take the show on the road. So if you're going to be with us, we will be back here at 6 p.m. Time's up, APD. That is the name of the march. The time is now, right now. One love to PSL, the Party for Socialism and Liberation. They have been with us since last year. I appreciate them. Give them a round of applause, y'all, because they've been standing for Elijah. All the women, all the people here, commanded space, all of our allies, give yourselves a round of applause because we appreciate you, we love you, we need you. Tonight is the night that we get together once again. We're going to command space. We're going to march down to the Municipal Center. You guys join us. After we leave from here, go get something to eat, come back. Let's join together as a unity. One love, one tribe. Elijah McClain, get him in the air, y'all. It's for Elijah. We're going to do it for Elijah McClain. That's who this is for. We're going to get justice for Elijah McClain. APD, time's up.
Thank you again for coming out. I want to reiterate to the crowd something that has been a conversation amongst us, the core group who are constantly questioning. One of the things that has been lost in all of this, in the debauchery of trying to make Elijah a million different things, that Elijah simply was not, was to honor Elijah's life, to honor the love that he had, the compassion that he had for others. The spirit that came with Elijah has to exist within this. We must take love in order to create the revolution. You can't even spell the word without it. You cannot. It is impossible. And so I say to you, in this message, injustice, if it were you, if it were your child, show up the same way.
That's right.
Show up the same way.
Don't wait till it's your baby.
Don't wait. Don't wait
till it's your
anymore.
cousin. Don't wait till it's your daddy. If
We
Elijah
stand.
McClain-
We stand united. We stand together. We bring you all with us. We ask that you stay with us and stand with us. Do not allow Elijah McClain's life to be in vain. Do not. As they put their knees on our necks, we must put our foot on theirs. We are more powerful as a people than they are. We must rise. We must rise now. We are stronger together than we ever have been defeated. Do not allow divisive behaviors and techniques to happen. Take our power back. Social media is our lifeline. When you come out to these events, you put it on. You keep the eyes of the world on us. Fight, Colorado. Fight. Elijah McClain. Say his name. Say his name. Time is up, APD. Thank you for coming out. Thank you. Hello. Excuse me, it's Candace Bailey, CandiceBailey. Sorry, I should have said it first for you. So, I'll say it again. So it's Candace Bailey, CandiceBailey.
Do you have, I remember you talked to Vanessa early on when these photos first came out when she was wearing it. Do you think she did enough?
No.
What else did you want her to do?
Well, first of all, this happened in October. This was a long time ago. A long time ago.
But we heard her say in the press conference she wasn't the police chief at the time.
Well, she's been the police chief since, so did it disappear suddenly? The department got amnesia. Here we are at another white supremacist.